He didn't lose a single battle. By the age of 30, he had conquered almost the entire known world. Kings bowed, empires collapsed. Even his enemies called him unstoppable. But at the height of his power, just as he was about to conquer even more, he suddenly fell sick and died. No one knows exactly why. This is the story of Alexander the Great, the man who chased the edge of the world, and may have been destroyed by his own ambition long before he became a legend. Alexander was just a boy in Macedon, but not an ordinary one. His father, Philip II of Macedon, was a ruthless king, a man who believed power was everything. His mother, Olympias, told him something different. She told him he wasn't just human. She whispered to him that he was the son of a god. Imagine growing up believing that. From childhood, Alexander didn't think like other boys. He didn't play. He prepared. One day, a wild horse was brought before the king. Massive, violent, untouchable. No man could ride it. Even seasoned warriors failed. But young Alexander stepped forward. Everyone laughed. But he noticed something no one else did. The horse was afraid of its own shadow. So he turned it toward the sun. And sudden, the beast calmed. He mounted it and rode it like it was born for him. That horse's name? Bucephalus. From that moment, people began to realize this boy was different. Alexander used strong. He was brilliant. He was taught by one of the greatest minds in history, Aristotle. Philosophy, science, medicine, strategy. But most importantly, he was taught about greatness. He read about heroes like Achilles and became obsessed. He didn't just want to live. He wanted to be remembered forever. At just 20 years old, everything changed. His father, King Philip, was assassinated, and son Alexander became king. But there was a problem. The kingdom didn't trust him. Enemies surrounded him. Rebellions started rising. Most people thought he would fall. Instead, he crushed every rebellion, brutally, decisively, sending one message to the world. I am not my father. I am worse. There was one empire that stood above all others, the mighty Persian Empire, led by Darius III. It was bigger, richer, stronger. But Alexander didn't hesitate. He marched straight toward it. Battle after battle. Outnumbered, yet undefeated. At the Battle of Issus. Then Gaugamela. Alexander didn't just win. He humiliated Darius. Yisran. Alexander chased. And just like that, the greatest empire on earth collapsed. Now, Alexander wasn't just a king. He was something else. He began to believe the stories. That he was divine, He dressed like Persian kings, demanded to be worshipped. Even his own men began to fear him. Then came the moment that changed everything. In a drunken rage, he killed one of his closest friends. Cletus the Black, the man who once saved his life. That was the moment Alexander stopped being a hero and started becoming something darker. Still, he wasn't done. He pushed further into unknown lands, into India, but this time his army refused. They were exhausted, broken. They had followed him for years, and they had reached their limit for the first time. Alexander couldn't conquer, not an enemy, but his own men, so he turned back, not defeated, but unfinished, back in Babylon, at the peak of his power. Alexander suddenly fell ill, fever, weakness, pain. Days passed, he couldn't speak, couldn't move, and then he died at just 32 years old. No clear cause, poison, disease, or something else? No one knows. When asked who should inherit his empire, he whispered to the strongest, and just like that, the empire he built collapsed into chaos. But his legend, it never died, because even today, we still ask the same question. Was Alexander the Great a genius, a madman, or a warning? You enjoyed this story? Type legend in the comments and subscribe for more powerful stories like this.